how to gain strength with people 60 plus and older. There are tons and tons of exercises out there, from walking on the treadmill to running to bicycling. But the number one reason for health to me is to increase your strength. Because when you increase your strength, what you're doing is that you're going to be increasing your lean muscle mass, and lean muscle mass and achieving the goals of lean muscle mass gives you a lot of potential to increase your health, from keeping diabetes away, from increasing your metabolism, which will also help your obesity or losing weight, which will then lead to our main concern now, which is to basically stay away from any cardiovascular diseases. Now, how do we achieve that? I have 3 things on the board here for you guys. Now, most of people who are older, just say past the age of 55 and 60, if you've never been in the gym before and trying to do some weight training to increase your lean muscle mass, it can be somewhat discouraging, right? Because oftentimes people will often ask me, well, Chip, you've been doing this since you were young. How can I, as someone who's 60 plus, gain strength when I'm starting so late? Well, it's not with regard to how early you start, right? I always tell people there's only 2 factors when it comes to weight training or resistance training to help you to achieve strength. The main 2 factors for that is pressure and time, okay? Time you cannot speed up, okay? So whatever times that you have lost, you've lost. Now, the beauty about weight training is really simple. The pressure that you put on it, guess what happens? If you put enough pressure on it, after a certain time, you actually will plateau. So what I mean by that is that if someone who started out weight training at 25 years old, okay, and he or she does that religiously up to 45 years old, okay, and applying time, okay, which is the amount of time that they work out, to the pressure, which is the resistance that they put on their muscles, all the way through for 20 years. What happened if they stop for 10 years or 5 years or even 3 years, even 1 year? Guess what happened? Their muscle tone actually diminishes, their strength actually drops like a rock. So what happened? Over time, that also leads them to become just like you, who's someone who hasn't started weight training at all. So the key is this consistency. So going back to someone who's 60 years old, so you losing that time doesn't really matter, because why? We automatically plateau to a certain level of strength and lean muscle mass by applying those 2 principles. So it doesn't matter when you apply them, as long as you apply them on a consistent manner, you're going to be able to achieve your goal, which is to strengthen your muscles and be lean, no matter what age it is. So I'm going to give you an example. So take, for instance, body weight exercises, okay? Now, let's take one example of doing a squat. Now, you can do what we call like an air squat, okay? And which is your body weight exercises to strengthen your legs up. Now, there's a whole bunch of different exercises that you can do with regard to body weight, like push-up and so on and so on, right? So everybody knows what those exercises are. Now, if you're afraid to go to the gym, you can start at home doing that first, okay? And after maybe 3, 4, 5 weeks, you're gonna get some strength on doing it. What I recommend is keeping your reps between 15 to 20 reps, because you're not using any weight at all. You want to do higher reps. You can't just do 8 or 10 with your body weight. It's not going to really be that much. So again, some exercise would be tougher. If you can't do it, do as much as you can. But an exercise that you can do it, for instance, such as the air squat, you can actually do it 15 to 20 times and repeat that 3 or 4 times. If you do that 2 or 3 times a week, that's going to give you a really good baseline to start to go into the next level. Now, what's the next level? The next level is using resistance bands, okay? You can get resistance bands on Amazon for like $35, $45, $50, and you can do pretty much every single exercise imaginable with 5 bands, okay? And they oftentimes have different resistance from light to moderate to heavy, okay? So then you can actually start to incorporate a lot of the exercises that you normally would be able to do in the gym using bands. Now, doing the same thing with the squat, you can do squats with bands by putting it underneath your feet, and you can do a squat with the resistance. And keep your keep your reps. In this case here, because you are having the bands to give you more resistance, you can keep your reps anywhere between 10 or 12 reps at a mild to moderate resistance. That's going to help you to slowly build up your strength. Now, once you get up to that stage, now you should feel pretty confident to get into the gym and join the gym. Okay, once you're in the gym, you're gonna have more access to more weights, okay, to more different equipments, which, believe it or not, to me is very important because it helps you to hit a different muscle group, and also to hit a different muscle group at different angles. And the gym equipments are really cool about that kind of things, because it locks you into a certain angle to really emphasize or be very specific on you strengthening a particular muscle really well. So those are the three things that you can apply no matter what age. And I know, you know, we have patients that are 80 years old that I educate them to start slowly doing squats every day. Okay, some of them start out, man, they can barely do 20 or 30 squats, and they slowly do a 20 or 30 squats here and there, and next thing you know what, most of our patients are able to do 150 squats at 20 or 30 times a clip every single time they get off of the chair after sitting during the course of the day. And then next thing you know, they have more strength in their legs, and it prevents them from falling and so on. You know, so strength training is really critical as we get older, and it's never too late to start. Just remember the two factors that we talk about: time and pressure. You put enough resistance on it, which is pressure, and if you do enough time, which is in this case here, I recommend 2 or 3 times a week, you're gonna get there and you're gonna get the strength that you want as you get older, so you can play golf and play tennis and keep from falling. So thanks a lot for joining us. If you guys have any questions, please let us know.